Thank you. So Tuist, the tool you missed. I'm going to talk about Tuist, but first I'm going to talk about me. Who am I? I am Bram. I'm an iOS developer here at Maxdoro for several years already. An iOS developer and also working here. I am an enthusiastic Swift consumer, privacy concerned, and I am in love with syntactic sugar, over-engineering, and my terminal, I guess. And I guess that's much to my regret of my girlfriend, but sure. Tonight, so we're going to talk about Tuist, and the reason I'm going to talk about Tuist is because we're going to discuss Xcode files and what they are, the issues with them, the solution, which obviously is Tuist, and then if you do have any questions, please ask them there. So, Xcode files, do we know which files I'm talking about then? The XC workspace and the XC project files. What are those files? Well, technically those files are directories, but inside there you will find a property list. It's not just any property list, it's a very cool property list. And you can see that there's a cool tool called plutil. See, I told you I love my terminal. And plutil will print out a property list, and you can modify and read values from a property list. So plutil, if you ever need to do something with that. And in here you can see I enter the directory Xcode project, and then I use plutil to print out the contents of that property list. And you can kind of already see what's wrong with this file. There's file IDs. It's pretty static. It's not immediately clear what it means, what it does, and what's pointed to what. And that's exactly the issue. So if I have an Xcode project, that's all fine, and then I add a file to my Xcode project, but then I forget to check it into Git, and then we get the infamous error, what is it? Build input file cannot be found error, I believe, or something like that. People having it in the git ignore or somewhere else, well, all these issues. I can have it in Xcode and then remove it in my file system, and then Xcode goes all nuts. So this is just not really a nice way of storing and having files grouped together and say where they are. And I've created a project to show you that, to demonstrate the issue with the project. So let's see if we can get to that project. Yeah, it's a very simple app. It's called Cheesy Going, especially made for tonight, but apparently it filled in a huge gap in the market. This app allows you to show products from a fast food restaurant in an app, and you can easily theme it. So let's see if it wants to build. Should be fine. It's a very simple app. I did a mock network request just to make it interesting. It's nothing special. It's a bit weird. Anyways, that's about it. Yeah, I thought so. I can not find the resize. It's a bit small. There we go. Much better. So yeah, it's nothing special. It's just showing products that it will sell in this restaurant. And it's very interesting because I released this and I did some marketing on it just last night, and then I already got McDonald's and KFC that really wanted to join in on this app, and they said, "Well, you built something cool. Show that to us." So I made several files to show this. I did, and I'm not sure. It's a bit tiny. I'm not sure if I can zoom in here. No, it doesn't show. I added 2 more targets here, the McDonald's target and the KFC target. And those are 2 new flavors, and they build the same app. And if I build KFC, you will see that KFC styling and theming is applied to the application. The beautiful KFC color. The product's definitely different. You can see a custom logo for the KFC app. Really cool. So then last night went really well, and Taco Bell called me, and they said, well, McDonald's and KFC are doing it, I want in too. So let's add Taco Bell to the list here. How would one do a white label app in this fashion? Well, we take one of the targets and we're going to duplicate it. So there we go. We have a new target. It's called a copy. Let's make sure it's named Taco Bell, just to have it a bit similar. And then also make sure that it has its unique bundle identifier. That's not too hard. Then Taco Bell has its own logo and its own color. So also let's add an assets folder called Taco Bell. How convenient. And this is one of the things that's already interesting. I need to set where I want to add my assets. And if I do this incorrectly, then my assets will be messed up. This is already one of the things, because you use an Xcode project and you miss this, it happens every now and then, especially in white labeling, it gets very confusing. All right, accent color. Yeah, so tedious. A new iOS app icon. And there we go. Well, luckily, they delivered their info straight away. So that's the app icon. And then the color. There we go. Now that should be it, right? Oh wait, there is still a scheme I have to edit. All right, all right. Easiest to do is just to remove the existing one and add a new one. If you ever need to do this, this is way easier than renaming. And then the logo is still wrong. Why is that? Oh, it must be this one. All right, target membership. This is one of those things again. This one should not be added to Taco Bell. And if I am correct, which I'm not. Well, that's interesting. I thought this would fix it, but hypothetically, we should have a Taco Bell built right now. Well, the color is fixed. I'm not sure why the app icon is not showing up. It is. All right, cool. So that's what we need to do for Taco Bell. Well, you saw, I did it a bit over the top, but you have a lot of checkboxes to hit. And if you miss one of those, or you miss one of the settings, or you add something in a wrong place, you will have a bad time. And for an app this big, it's not much of an issue. But if you do have lots of white labels or lots of files that need to be included or excluded, you can imagine that it becomes much of a hassle. So we want to improve that. Now, it's not really clear what the issue here is. I mean, everything works. I can push it to master, and Taco Bell can be released. So what actually is the issue is the next thing. Let's see. I believe that should be better. I can increase this. You can see I am at the develop branch here for presentation, of course. And on the right side, you can also see I've added a meal, which is pretty much, it combines two products that the restaurant sells, and you combine those and have a discount. So if I run this app, amazing UI, you can see down at the bottom there is a family meal and a luxury meal. They include products and you get a discount. Now this is what I've been working on when McDonald's and KFC were already released and everything went well. And then all of a sudden Taco Bell called me. I was like, oh, I need to add Taco Bell. But this feature is not done yet. So obviously, let's release Taco Bell on the release branch. So git checkout main. Git checkout. Really? Git reset. What do you want me to do? Still not? Oh. there we go. Let's go to the release branch and open the project again. Right, so remember there is a develop branch with ongoing work, the meal feature, and in here we want to do the same thing with the Taco Bell stuff. So we're going to duplicate the thing. You see, it's very tedious. That's what I wanted to show you. I also wanted to change the thing here. Taco Bell. Make sure we add an asset folder. Call it Taco Bell. Make sure it's added to Taco Bell. New color. I'm not that interested in the color this time. We can drag in the app icon. Let's make it something fun. I'm not sure, it was kind of purple, right? There we go. Then we have to remove this one in the membership. I remember from last time. And then we had to manage scheme. Remove this one. Press the wrong buttons. There we go. Taco Bell is added. Cool. I believe that's you can see I added some files. Let's add them to Git. Make sure we commit it. Amazing. So Taco Bell is released. We're going to push everything to the App Store. Taco Bell is all happy. And then I'm like, I remember my meal. I believe that's tested in the meantime or whatever. That's finished. Let's pull it into my current working branch. So I want to release the meal feature. So we're going to do that by git merge develop. Oh, a conflict. And the file is the Xcode project file. Well, why is that? Yeah, it's not only the exe user state. So what I can show you is that this is exactly what I wanted to show you. This is one of the things that is very annoying if you work with multiple targets, multiple teams, multiple features, and it gets annoying really quickly. The project file is just not really made for that. And sure, you could argue that this is quite easily solvable, but we now need to find it. Of course, I cannot find it. Oh, really? Well, then the presentation of this part failed. It should have said there is a conflict in your project. Right. That's annoying. Yeah, I was lucky this time. Yeah. Normally speaking, we would get this crazy error state in the Xcode project file, which is obviously very annoying, especially if you work with multiple people. If you work alone, it's 9 out of 10 times it's fine, even though I still messed up. But it should be fine. So that's the project. The solution is, at least for me, would be Tuist. Now, I believe Jeroen, who is also from CocoaHeads, has done several presentations on Tuist, and usually it's about micro frameworks, microservices, and it does that really well. But Tuist is more than that. It's a way to manage and create and maintain your Xcode project. It's an amazing tool, and I really recommend you using it. There's other tools out there too. There's Xcode Gen, Swift Gen. You can do stuff with that. There's all these scripts that you can use, but this one is really cool. One of the downsides of Xcode Gen, for instance, is that it uses YAML, and I'm not sure if you know YAML, but indentation becomes hard again. I don't know, if you indent something invalid, then everything breaks. It's kind of like Python. And I'm an iOS developer. Wouldn't it be great if I could generate my project based on some Swift source code? I'd say that's a decent argument. So let's do some Tuist adoption. I can close this one. I'll keep that one.
Have to use YAML because of Fastlane.
Yeah, well, You're not going to escape anything, but we have to start somewhere. Let's see. So this is the original project with only the McDonald's and the KFC. Let's see if we can adopt Tuist and see how easy it actually is to adopt Tuist into such a project. Where am I? I am in the code. Let's go to the right commando. This should be fine. Right, so Tuist is used to generate projects, and that includes workspaces, projects. There's other stuff it can do as well. But we wanted to generate our Xcode project, which we can do by saying, please create a project.swift file where we will generate our project. If I now do, I believe I can do this already, Tuist edit, it will open the project.swift file I just created. There's nothing in there. That is also logically, I just made that. Then we can define what our project looks like in Tuist. So let's do that. Import project description. This is what Tuist provides us. And then first of all, what I want is similar to the other one. I want a target to run. So let's create a target. One of the targets I had was cheesy going. I have some sources somewhere. I guess that's about it, all I need. So let's name it cheesy going. The platform will be iOS. The product, it will be an app. The bundle ID, I don't remember what I named it. It was something like, I guess something like this. And the sources, it was just one of the folders called cheesy going. And all I want is everything that is a Swift file. So my target now contains everything that is a Swift file. It's named cheesy going. It's an app for iOS. Now, a target is not enough to generate an Xcode project, so we actually need to create a project as well. So let's make a project. And look for the thing, add a target to there. And I can simply add target. So at the top is the target, at the bottom is the project. All very easy. Now let's see what happens if I'm done editing and generate the project. There we go. It created two schemes. The workspace is used to test everything that you generate. You can customize this as well. I'm more interested in cheesy going. You can see it added all the source code, all the Swift files. And if I hit run, the application will actually run. Fingers crossed, because the conflict didn't appear either. Amazing. You can see there's some issues already. The assets are missing. The size is not correct. We can solve that. But this is it's not too hard to adopt Tuist. And you already have a way to exclude your Xcode project from your repository and prevent any conflicts in that file. So XC user state, non-XC user state, anything that could crash in that file can be excluded already. We can safely git ignore the Xcode and XC workspace files. So that's very cool. To show you how easy it is to add other targets, I have also created a different folder. Let's close that one. It's the old one. Yeah, you can see this is what we pretty much just did. I fixed the issue here with the launch screen. So the launch, because I had not defined what the launch screen looked like, it's going to define the thing as 320 by 480 pixels, I believe. I solved that, and I also added the resources. So it will now add my assets into the app as well, so the color will be correct. Same with the app icon. And I believe if I go to 1, 2, yep, you should see that I've done some other stuff. I still have the cheesy going variant, and I've added McDonald's and KFC as two separate targets too. Now I'm not sure if you notice it, but there's quite a bunch of code duplication here. I'm not that much of a fan of that. So let's fix that. And Tuist does have something for that. Now this is one of the points, because Tuist is very open and open-minded in how you structure your files and folders. So you're almost always free to do whatever you like. There is some stuff that we're going to get into now that has to be in a specific folder or a specific structure, as far as I know. So we're going to create the Tuist folder, and then into Tuist we'll create the folder called project description helpers, and then in that file we can create something called targets plus helper.swift. Then go back to the root and do Tuist edit. And you can see it generated those things too. Let's get those two next to each other. So what we can extract is, for instance, the platform, the app, the bundle ID, and we can pretty much, if you look at it, we can base them based on a name. So it becomes very easy to generate your targets based on the name of the thing you're going to build. So let's try to do that. Again, import project description. I'm not sure if I need to do this, but I'm not sure if I can either. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to extend the target, and we're going to do a white label. And it's going to return a target. So and we can simply copy one of those things here. For now, I'm not going to be bothered with all the default parameters. You could do stuff with default parameters here that, for instance, you want a framework to or whatever. It's not too interesting for now. And also change the name here. So what this does is it's exactly what it did previously, but now it does it based on the name of your application or your white label. And if you have set your source code correctly, your folder structure correctly, then it will generate everything for you with just one function. So we can actually remove most of the stuff here. Let's name this targets. And also KFC. Map it to targets.white label. And then in here we'll say targets. And this is because I need to import project description helpers, I guess. Oh. There we go. That looks quite clean. And if I now need to add another target to my project, I need to define a specific folder where the resources are. I can simply add one string and everything is done and dusted. I don't need fancy checkboxes. I'm not going to miss or remove a scheme and add it again. It will simply be done with this tool. So let's make sure what I say is correct, because, well, we've seen previously that it went wrong, but we can see that I have 3 targets and the workspace one. All the source code is in here and it works just fine. So if I now were to run the KFC app, we would be able to see a KFC app with the right colors and the right icon again. So that's, in my opinion, really cool. Quite easy to add a target and modify targets without having conflicts in those stupid Xcode project files. I'm not sure if in which folder, if I have that even. Yeah, we could try this. Not sure if I added Taco Bell here already, because we could do that then. No, I haven't yet. Let's do that. So to prove the point, let's add the Taco Bell target one last time, using Tuist this time, and then see if we can merge the develop branch into the main branch here. All right. I need to. Let's see. Is it going to complain? No. Okay. Tuist generate. So all I need to do right now is simply add a file here, which is the asset folder, because that's almost everything I need to do. Make sure I name it correctly. It doesn't really matter right now where I add it. It will be overwritten once I generate the project again. That's the wrong one. Buttons are hard. Sure, make it some kind of purple. And that one too. Another app icon. And I should have one right here still. All right. Accent color, that's very sharp. Right. Then inside Tuist itself, remember Tuist edit, change the project. That's where we define everything that we want to create. I forgot to do that here. Interesting. All right. Well, I don't have the helper function here yet, so. It's going to be some old copy pasting. I mean, it's a demo, okay. Right? Tuist generates. And we should see the Taco Bell one. And that works. There we go, nice and purple. And then it worked previously, but let's make sure that it does still work. And this was what I was trying to show you, that now it goes all without any issues, whereas it didn't previously. But it doesn't go with any issues here, so it does work. Tuist does work. It does what it's supposed to do, and merging the file is without any pain because there's no Xcode project anymore. So it's pretty much a takeaway. So in summary, I'll let you read the thing first. The thing is that we tend to run into some conflicts during our programming, not only in the code base, but also on personal level. But what we can solve is the ones on project level. We cannot ship our project to a customer directly. I cannot give them my MacBook. I cannot give you my MacBook if we have an issue. If it works on my MacBook, doesn't mean it works on your MacBook. So we need to solve those issues. And one of the things I run into multiple times is that an Xcode project or an XC workspace provides conflicts that could be solved if we prevent those from being injected in your Git or in your project altogether. If we could use alternative methods of generating those files. And I was lucky enough to get introduced with Tuist, and I really like the tool. So I really would recommend you to use it at least once and try it at least once and see if you get anything out of it. And of course, it does really good work for a white label app. We can create white labels quite easily. Are there any questions? I see.
So these are simple projects. What if you have an Xcode project with nitty-gritty bundle IDs and certificates and shit and Bluetooth and privacy statements which differ per everything? How would you do it then? Because that's all stuff is all stored in the, or scripts, terrible scripts, which are also stored in the XML file.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
It's very easy too. I'm not sure if I can show you, but Tuist does have ways to also add scripts. Both post and pre-scripts and run scripts and build scripts and all these cool stuff. There's ways to add those to the target. I'm not sure where it is.
I believe you.
It's not visible here. But there's ways Tuist allows you to do this. The same with XC configs or certificates or anything like that. You're free to edit your info.plist still. But imagine that if all of your apps need the Bluetooth privacy statement, you can generate it once in code and apply it to all your targets very easily. So that's still a win for Tuist, I'd say.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Anyone else?
It works both ways, like generate the first setup from my Xcode project file.
How do you mean that?
I already have a project, it's way complicated and I don't want to figure out how Tuist works.
Yeah, what I showed you is I integrated it just now in a working Xcode project file.
Yeah, but you still made the project again, basically. You started with an empty project.
Oh, right,
Swift.
yeah.
But I have this thing whole set up and I wanted to just parse it and generate code out of it. Can I do that?
As far as I know, it can't, but it can extract certain parts that you can later on easily use in Tuist. So there are certain xcconfigs settings or stuff like that. It can extract those. But as far as I know, but I'm almost certain that it cannot do the other way around. Any other questions?
Well, thank you, Bram.
Thank you.